Folks, welcome to Talking Crit. I am Eric Tenkar, one of your many hosts, your bartender in the OSR. With me, as always, this way, stage whatever, is Bad Mike Battalato, my once-a-week work spouse. No Jim Kitchen this week, by the way, folks. I know he's Gary Conning.
He's got more important things to do.
Yeah.
He's got to get that Gary Con auction up and rolling. It's for charity, and they made a ton of money last year. They're going to make a ton of money this year, but that's become his primary duty at Gary Con. So he's a busy little beaver.
But with us today, we have Agile Monk. You know Agile Monk from the chat. You've seen him on all of our live streams. All right, not seen him. And technically not today either. But Agile Monk is here, as is his son Michael, and they were representing Fantasy Companion Workshops because we got a Kickstarter to talk about. Gentlemen.
Yeah, we got a lot of questions for you guys because Agile Monks has been busting our balls now for God knows how long, years. And so yeah, now we have him. We're gonna.
This is what I was afraid of.
Yeah. We're gonna hammer him at this point because I didn't know you guys
shows up, and all three of them are hitting me. I don't know what I'm gonna do.
I didn't know you guys did D&D stuff and it looks pretty professional, and so we're gonna talk about your starter. Which correct?
That's correct. Yep, May 12th of 2026.
May 12th.
Yep, May 12th.
Tuesday,
May 12th.
Okay. So we got a long lead time. Well, so we got 2 months to build for this. All right, we got plenty of time. We got long lead time, no problem. And you're going to talk about what you got coming up, and we're just going to, and then we're going to.
It's essentially how we got to the 12th, Mike, because you
have a lot of hot opinions, Agile. You have a lot of hot opinions on the site. So the last hour we're going to talk about current events, and we want some hot opinions from you because you were always giving them to us.
That's great. That's right.
So be ready to get some of those hot gaming opinions going there because we want to hear.
We do some creation and work with Trollord Games, and Steve and Chuck, the group, we're very close to those people. But initially we were going to be going April 7th, but there was a mix-up between when they were going to do the big Dungeon Master or the big Dungeon foray over on Backer Kit. So we met with Trollord. We met with Trollord and we said, hey, wait, we're going to be saturated because we're supporting them. They're supporting us. We just got done helping drive their spell book because we're the ones creating the spell cards for that. And we've created them. So we ended up getting together and saying, well, why don't we just switch? So what we did is we moved to May, and so that could happen in April. So that's how we ended up on May 12th. So we wouldn't end up being in the middle of a bunch of saturation at that time. So because they're going to be coming out with some support for us too, which is nice. But yes, I've been in the hobby, just to give you a little background, since the very beginning. This April will be my 52nd year as a player and my actual 50th year as a game master, DM, whatever you want to call it, referee back in OD&D. And and I've had the blessings of playing with Gygax and Arneson before in my life. And been around the hobby, did some stuff a long time ago in it with different game companies and some early TSR stuff. And long story short, I've always been in and out of the industry, including because like some of this channel here, I'm into historical miniature gaming, the HMGS. I've been in office HMGS before. I've helped, work the conventions. I brought what is now Battlefront miniatures. I brought from New Zealand here with my partner, another John, and they were initially called Military Miniatures USA, then became Battlefront. And so I've been around a long time doing stuff in the gaming business, either board games, miniatures, or this. And my son was pushed into the hobby at 3 years old. He was rolling dice, pushing miniatures at 3, and I clearly brainwashed him. And so just like absolutely. Me in the military, we're both veterans. Our other partner, other key owners, Dave, he's also a veteran. So we're a veteran company, a veteran-owned business, all made in the USA, all created in the USA, and we get all of our printing and work and support done from veteran-owned businesses too. So we're all about, keeping it here, keeping it real, and living the dream that I started living back in '74 and taught my son to. And my son, who's also played Iron Crown Enterprises, Roll Master, or as many people call it,
Chart Master.
Yeah, he's written for Chart Master. He loves the game. He still plays it along with Shadow Dark and Castles and Crusades. But so we have a pretty eclectic background. But what it is we love the hobby. And in my case, all through my career in the Middle East and Africa, and in Spec Ops doing anti-terrorism, when we weren't out doing what we did, we were playing games. And then later on, over the years supporting veterans and teen clubs, we still support veterans, and we support veterans, and we've helped support the VA programs for veterans that are now using TTRPGs as therapy for PTSD as part of therapeutic gaming. And you can actually go to school and learn how to be a therapeutic GM, which I'm certified in doing, and then you work with the therapists and you work with these veterans and help veterans through stuff. So, and that hobby has honestly kept me alive a couple times in my life when I got to some pretty dark places. So I owe a lot to this hobby and the community. And so we're happy to be able to give back to it. And I think that'll come across when you see what we're doing, how much we're trying to give back to the hobby and what we're doing.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So Michael,
let's do the elevator. Tell us what you got, what you're going to Kickstarter is going to be about, and why we need to buy it.
Good, Michael.
So two parts. So we're actually bringing two products with this one Kickstarter. One of them, the book that I helped write, thank you for bringing this up, is the Wondrous and Dangerous Consortiums book. The second is the Zendria World and Lore book. It's a setting guide focused on sandbox and West Marches style campaigns. The Consortiums book is my putting together of research over the years of seeing people's narratives, seeing how people put together their own campaign world settings, looking at the big ones, standing on the shoulders of giants, looking at the old ones like Greyhawk or Forgotten Realms, and seeing where the differences are when someone just throws an idea together or rolls a couple of D10s and says, "Oh, look, I got a tavern here. We're all going to start in the tavern and start the adventure," and seeing how that can evolve into something that feels more alive, feels very memorable, and wasn't just, "Oh yeah, we started the adventure, something, and I think a bar fight broke out." I wanted to help give people not just a series of lists, but also guidance and a master class on, hey, here's how you can write organizations, institutions. We're calling them consortiums because one thought it was a lot better of a word, and institutions was too, again, forgettable. And help people make it through that, like, hey, I can put together my story. I can organize the elements of my story to bring it to the players or my readers if you're writing, if these are writing for novels. However you're going to use the tool and toolkit is up to you. But I wanted to put these ideas together because I've seen so many products that I feel like, hey, you really had to start here. You had a cool collection of ideas, but how do we move that to the next step where we're past the brainstorming stage, where we go from, okay, I jotted down a couple of bullet points. Now let's get that together into something that would be like if you've seen Paizo's Pathfinder Glorantha, right? You can see their whole world across their wiki. Something like that to make sure that your world stays coherent, as well as can bring good plot hooks and good recurring characters to your players when they're starting adventures.
So is this going to be system neutral? Is it for a specific system? How's that going to work?
Both the books, the Wondrous and Dangerous Consortiums and Zendria World book, are system neutral. They don't have any mention of a system. There is no discussion of a particular TTRPG system. Matter of fact, it was also written for just novelists, with novelists in mind, in addition to TTRPG players and GMs and whatnot. So it more focuses on. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, but let me add to that because I think it's important to kind of make this clear. We say system neutral, but you have to understand where Michael's at that 40 age mark. I'm in my 60s, and with the long background we've had in the hobby, as father and son playing, and with our friends, the world. If you look at the world and read the world, especially the World Book, and you see what we're doing. We claim it's system agnostic, but when you read like the World Book and you see the chapter just on how to run West March games like the old days, and I actually cover the real history, not the stuff say, oh, West Marches was just invented by so and so a couple of years ago. No, I take it back to the history, to the beginning of time, explain the concepts, different ways to do it. I also explain the World Book how to do sandboxes, how to run them, how to make them beneficial, and we provide the stuff to do that. So the fact is, the work and well, Eric, you know this about me. I am a fanatic about the OSR.
Yeah.
And so to me, what we did is we looked at the market and said, look what's really going on in the hobby. My friends and contacts in low places, we know how D&D 2024 happened. It didn't go so well. 2014 D&D was popular, but the truth is, with Shadow Dark, with Castle Crusades Reforged coming out, with a lot of this concept of NSR, now they're calling NSR, and now we know that Kelsey's Shadow Dark is NSR because it's 5e adjacent, but it's OSR adjacent, okay? So what we try to do is say, look, we want to focus on the OSR, NSR, so when you look at it, if you were to read it, you say, wow, I feel like I'm back in that world again, the way we used to do things, right down to the Consortium's book, where the old days where Gary and other people, when they put stuff together, they didn't just say, here it is. They actually taught you and educated you and gave you information on how to do it yourself and how to create it. And that's why they had Dragon Magazine to fill in rules gaps, all that. So we bring that in the books too. And the people that have seen it and had other looks at it are like, wow, this isn't just another book setting. It's actually all the tools I need to make my own world, make my own stuff. And it's teaching me how to do it. It's teaching me how to world build. And it's giving me what I need to do it, all included in a world and in these detailed consortiums we've done. And when we get to talking more about this, you're going to find that all the adventures we're giving away and all the other things we're giving away all automatically tie into the World Book and the consortiums. So if you were to pick any adventure, you'll be dropped right in straight away and be embracing what we provided.
So when you kind of system neutral, old school, but like if I'm looking at a stat block, what am I looking at in there, or am I even looking at stat?
Good. Let me answer. That's a good one. I'm going to go ahead and answer this just because I'm probably going to run out of energy and Michael can take over. But anyway, so here's the thing. On our adventures, there's 8 adventures. One, if you do the first 72 hours, you get this big long 60-page adventure. And then there's 7 other adventures. What we did with it is we did this. If you join the Kickstarter and you pledge, you get all these adventures. And guess what you get? This is what we did. We created a concept called the playbook. So when you get the adventures, you get all 8 adventures, and then you get a play and stat book for Castles and Crusades, for Shadow Dark, for D&D, for OSR type use, for Tales of Vane, and for Nimble. And then depending on how far we go on our stretch goals, we also do it for even more games like Pathfinder, for those who want Pathfinder, Draw Steel, or those games too. And we also do more older other OSR stuff as well. So the nice thing is you end up, when you get 8 adventures right out of the gate, you get 5 playbook stat books for 5 different systems. So you're in essence getting 40 adventures.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying, Mike?
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, and they will look like the stat blocks and systems relevant to that game. So you'll actually say, oh, here's my playbook stat blocks for Shadow Dark. They're Shadow Darky. Here's my Castle Crusades. They're Castles and Crusades-y, So that way everybody can pick the system and say, great, I can drop this in no matter what game I'm playing. Matter of fact, you could operate in this world with your characters and switch out systems and it would work just fine.
All right, makes sense.
we're looking to also offer that as an improved user experience. So a GM picking up the playbook can look at the adventure as one separate thing and then grab only the playbook that they need for the system then they intend to play at that time. And this way you can keep all the story, the narrative, and all those details on one document, and you don't have to flip through as much. And everything else will be just neatly lined up over on the playbook side, which will, of course, also make it easier to use on virtual tabletop systems like Foundry.
And one of the things that is really exciting, but with that comes the VTT tokens for all the NPCs and everything in there.
The maps.
And then another added thing is you're going to love this. There's the world map, which is done from a sage scholar, like using old school methods. But then inside the cities and towns, we do these detailed 8K maps. I mean, these are phenomenal maps. They blow up to the microscopic detail. They take weeks to build at a time. You're going to get 30 maps, and guess what you get? You get 30 free digital maps. You also see the map in the book, but you get the digital maps, and you get 5 variations of each digital map to show different times of year and representation, so the GM can pick, like, oh, this is the one that kind of has clouds over it in the winter. This is the one that shows shadow in it. And so you end up with 150 digital maps at 8K, all included, all provided to you. And when we get further in this Kickstarter to talk about something, we're going to talk about a thing we call the give and take and what we're doing to support the hobby, which I'm really excited to announce. And then we've got, depending on the rewards, we'll provide STL files and audio sounds too for your games. For those people who are playing through VTT, we're going to be doing Roll20 and Foundry. But the nice thing is you'll be able to use this stuff with any of those kind of systems, because the way we structure it, they're usable with all that. So I like to think that we're providing some modern stuff while providing old school concepts together to give people the best options.
Yeah. Well, if Rob Conley was here, he'd be hearing about those maps and be getting into a very detailed conversation, which would derail the hell out of us.
I know he would for a fact. I'm glad this isn't a panel. But I don't know if you're able to, but did you were you able to, we provided some maps. Were you able to show one of those maps?
Yeah, let me see. Keep talking, folks. Let me
Okay, yeah. So let's just so Michael, do this while he's talking. Talk about the way we integrated the factions that we do provide with the world, and how it's all so fully integrated together between the two books, which, by the way, took us 2.5 years to make happen, by the way, with our team of 10 people.
Oh man.
Yeah. So go ahead, Michael.
Do you get the introduction and the development chapters at the beginning, which talk through how writing of institutions works and how they become representative in a world and how you create memory with them, and then how to write them yourself. But then we follow up by showing very large examples, and by examples and specifying very large examples, what I mean is not here's a D100 factions, and on every page it's like, here's a group and it's a paragraph, group, paragraph, go. No, what we've done is we've articulated 14 distinct institutions, organizations, consortiums, scattered across different categories. And thank you for
and tell them the types. Tell them the categories.
Absolutely. So, for example, we have created 7 main classifications: coalitions, cults, factions, guilds, mercenaries, orders, and secret societies. And we've done 2 of these organizations inside of each one. And what they do is they highlight different parts of that creation process and how you would integrate these in your world. But then once we've done that, in the Zendria World Guide book, there are direct line references to each of these organizations and how they fit into each city. So when you're reading on the consortium's book side, you'll see the references to, oh, hey, they're headquartered in this city here, which on your own side, you can pull that out and you can rework that for your own campaign world and put it in a location that fits you best. But if you want to use it with this existing West Marches campaign world and structured setting, you will see how each of those go together and fit in the different parts of the world, how they interact, and you'll see more about the relationships outside of what is just written in the consortium's book, because you'll also get it in this massive world guide.
Okay. It sounds like a ton of material, man.
It is. And so this is where,
gosh, Mike,
and where
it
we
is.
were really tie it in and finally like bring it all together, because we want the proof to be there in the process. Inside of each of the adventures that you'll be able to get is each of them will be tied to one of the consortiums and one specific part of the world. So you'll be able to introduce someone and say, hey, we're down in this area. We want to start a campaign here. Okay, well, we have this adventure ready to go, and we're going to introduce you. That's going to introduce some key members of that organization to the players, and they can then begin forming relationships, whether that's beneficial in an alliance or if it's adversarial. That's up to you and your campaign. And you can see, for example,
Okay,
Cheryl's not there.
Let's look at this map. So in this case, remember the old days back when we have our big world map, and it was kind of obfuscated a bit, meaning you'd have pictures, you'd have buildings, you'd have things there, but they weren't really to full scale, but you did have a scale for the map. But the idea is it gave you this feeling of full expansiveness, that you could say, oh, here's this town, here's that, here, there, and you could blow it up, but it didn't have that detail. But when you get to the city maps then, and this is the world map. So if you bring that world map in or out, there's 3 continents on it. It's got all these different key cities, and guess what? You've got every kind of terrain you can imagine, from jungles to the world that's one continent that's been scoured by the scouring. So you've got lava, volcanoes, you got dragons, basically it's everything we wanted back when I was playing with some of my best friends, both in later in college and stuff, and then in high school, and also in the military. It just gives that whole thing. But what's really neat is what I'm hoping to do is I want to have Tenkar grab one of the actual city maps there.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So while he's doing that, we'll continue on, because once you see the city, you're going to go, oh my gosh. Okay. So and we're very proud of this, because, like I said, 2.5 years in the making. Let me just be clear about our team too. This is made up of FCW people and some of our partners, freelancers, where we work together. It's a specialty team. I come from the Special Forces world, so I put together a Special Forces team. So you might sit there and say, wow, who did this? Like, you guys have heard of Rick Hershey, right?
Oh, yeah.
Rick Hershey's my friend. He's also one of the primary artists for the whole thing. Okay? So you'll notice Rick's all throughout this. I mean, and guess what? We not only have we've paid for all our art, no AI writing, no AI artwork, all paid people, all paid resources, all partnering together to do this with high-end, results. Now, one of our things we do though is we've got like master artists like Rick, we've got a couple journeyman artists, and then what we do is we try to give, see, that's a beautiful rendering of the bigger picture view. And those ones with the banners around them is because those are major places in the world that are called out, and we're going to get to see one of those maps here in a minute. But with these people, the other thing, our copy, we have a copy editor, line editor, and by the way, the gal we have that does the copy editing, by the way, her entire living is made doing nothing but copy editing, line editing, and development editing for all the major TTRPG organizations out there in the indie world. This is her full-time job. She's also on our teams, been with me for years because of the other work I've done. Mead, her name is Mead. She's amazing. We've got one of the gentleman I work with. He prefers me just use his name, Pina, but he's got a real name, but that's kind of his call sign. He and I have worked together on maps. He did the city maps. He's phenomenal. And he and I do those maps together. We work through them. It's very exciting. We then bring in, and then with every project, we look for people that are trying to get their start, and we test them out. And if they do a good job, what we do is we let them join in, and we give them an opportunity to get their name in books by giving them some opportunities too. So we bring in, see, look at this, look at the detail on this. And the problem is Restream won't let you get the full AK. But imagine having a city map like that you can go down to that level. I mean, yeah. So I mean, and this is actually Valestrio. This is called the City on the Hills because it's actually multiple towns within a city. It's very uniquely built and designed, and it's one of the main things in the world you'll get a kick out of. So with these people we've worked with, I'm trying to think who else. We have Brandon Crilly. He's worked for we got people who've worked and done stuff for Paizo, for Goodman Games, Frog God, Cobalt Press. I mean, we have quite a variety of people. Philip and I who've been writing together. We've been building worlds for years together. He was part of this. So what we did is we pulled the best of the best and said, okay, we're going to spend the money and we're going to put the money out there and we're going to build and create these. And one of the policies is, here's the good news. The consortium's book is already finished and completely done with layout, save for the final credits and the table of contents being put in. The Zendria book is going into, after all of its edits, is going into its layout design. And what will happen is we will literally have both books fully done and fully set up so that when we launch in May, the books will be done along with all the other stuff. So the only thing people have to wait on from us is we'll be giving them early rewards, things like that, is they'll be waiting for the printing to happen. And for those who don't know, we're happy to say that between Trollord Games and printers we have there and Don Zamora from Wizard Tower Publishing, we've got printers and people involved in that for hardcovers, for softcover books. And so that's the time. We're literally waiting on them to get printed. And then some of the stretch goals we'll be doing during that little window too. But the fact is, when it comes time to do this, you're not going to be waiting 2 years for something, okay? We plan on having everything out and finished within 6 months of the finish of the Kickstarter. Only because of the extras. Because if we meet the STLs and stuff, the STL engineers we're using have to go then create them and make them and do all that. It takes time, and then there's the printing timeline that we have to go with. But so we're very, very excited about that, and we're not doing. And everything we're focused on, very high quality, U.S. made, like I said. And by the way, just so you know how serious we are about AI, we had a situation where we had an artist we'd been working with, and we'd gotten a long way to pay them to do work, and we tested them out. And because in my real life government job, I tested them and said, hey, we caught IA in his work. We ended up firing him and going and repaying to get all that artwork redone because we weren't going to risk having one piece of artwork show up in our products that was made with AI.
That's fair enough on that one. And the fact that you are printing in the U.S., which means the turnaround is quicker.
Yeah.
So
guys, what's our price point? If we're looking at the books here, and like, let's just say I want to get in. I want one of everything. Maybe I don't want to buy a hardback. I just want to get, I just want to get everything, and I want to get on PDF and printed.
Okay,
what kind of price
that's
point?
a fair question, and you're going to be blown away by the price point. But you want to talk about it, Michael? Go ahead.
We can go back and forth. So if you, like you said, you want something of everything. You want soft cover of both books, and you'll get the PDF of both books as well. $65.
Oh wow!
Damn.
Okay, that's a good.
And if you want to go hardcover, both
$75.
and still obviously get both PDFs, $75.
That is very, very reasonable.
Cannot be.
And that's the thing is we wanted to. Yep.
Oh, go ahead, Michael. Sorry, apologies.
Helping make this more accessible, more parts of the hobby more accessible to more people. Reduce those barriers to entry, give back to this community that has helped us and loved us so much. And so we're not talking 50-page books. The consortium's book is weighing in at right up to 200
little over
pages,
200.
and the Zendria book has
It's about
we're
300
well over
now.
250. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're closing in at 300 by the time we get through the rest of layout.
Get the rest of the art. Yeah.
Well,
put
it
his
sounds like
art
you're
in
getting your money. You're getting your money's worth, definitely. At
Yes,
Oh
because,
yes.
yes, because our so but let me share this. Hey, Eric, while
Yep,
I'm
I'm gonna grab it.
oh, perfect. He's going to bring up this other map.
I hate technology.
All right, let's see. It booted us off within 5 seconds before.
Okay.
Oh, we're
looks like
back, and we got 26. All right, holy crap, we didn't lose anybody,
okay.
folks.
So
Oh,
Sorry about that, folks.
That's weird.
yeah, that was a little hiccup on Restream. Thank you for
that's
sticking
weird.
around.
Okay. So I'll start where I was saying. So what where I was talking about is our give and take. So we work with our attorneys, and what we did is we said, listen, this OGL, all this junk that's happened, it just doesn't work for me. So here's the deal: we're going to have a special name for it, but we're literally going to have what is a very unique open license, and let me explain what that means. So check this. So Mike, let's say you like our world. Oh, I think oh yeah, he's loading. Okay. So
Yep.
can you hear me, Mike?
We can hear you.
Yep. We
Okay,
can hear
good.
you.
Let's say you like this world. You say, man, I really want to build something. Well, guess what we're doing? You can take, and this is no joke, you can take every one of our books, either one of the books, all the images, anything, and you can go use all of our content to create your own product, and you can go sell it and do it on your own. All you have to do is give credit to basically fantasy campaign workshops, and if your stuff is really good, we'll even help you get it published, because we want to give back and say everything we provide you, take it and go build something. You go build something and we'll help you promote it and sell it if it's good. If not, you can do it on your own then. But because we want to help independent publishers, and we want to give back and say, use our material. So guess what? You could go take our city maps from, say, Cathedral, and you could go build something with it and build your own story. Or you could take the world and build your own module or anything, because we are not going to put it behind any kind of paywall or any kind of license model. We're providing free open gaming and use to creators all over. Oh, but here's the funny part. You wonder, yes, great, this is awesome. So you want to hear something amazing? But in our license agreement, we have a little line in there for WotC. No large companies, public companies, are allowed to use our books and put them in their large language models or other type of AI tools to use to produce product. It's sort of our pushback on, you're not going to steal from us. So this town that Tenkar has, Eric, this is called Cathedral. Cathedral is this massive set of mountains. I mean, massive. It's on that big world map, and it's an underground city with dwarves. We have created a map where we cut off the top of the mountains at different chunks, and you can actually see inside the whole mountain of Cathedral in the entire massive underground cities that are inside it.
And what's interesting is that if I zoom out, it doesn't do any justice. When you zoom in,
yes. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Until you get an 8K map in front of you, you're like, oh my gosh. You know what I mean?
Yeah, zooming in is.
I mean, so think about this. Now, so you've got this massive, and when you read Cathedral in the World Book, you're like, this is this amazing thing that survived the scouring, because the dwarves went underground and they did this, and they built these deep underground city elements, and you get a picture of them through these literally maps that were cut open to show it, where the rivers run into it, all that. So this is one of my, I'm a big dwarf fan, so it's one of something. This is big to me, so I really want to.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, at your height, being a dwarf fan kind of makes sense.
Shut up.
Truth hurts, man.
Normally he has such better comebacks for that.
That's only because I was the one who had the testicular fortitude to jump out of those planes and helicopters.
Hey, see, we believed in standing behind the metal and letting the bullets do their thing. It was just so much more effective. So
Mike and Eric, what do you think of this kind of, map? Is that not just?
I love this, and like I said, when you just put up your screen and you don't zoom in, you're like, all right, it looks fine. And then you start zooming in, and it is stunning in the amount of detail
Oh
that
yeah.
is here.
And do you still have the other image up,
Uh,
Tenkar?
no, I actually had to like close it out to get. I didn't know what
Oh,
was causing the restream problem, so I figured,
fair enough.
Yeah.
So if you remember from the Zendria map, and we can actually see this when we go through the Kickstarter pre-launch page, you'll actually see this matches up to the dead center spot of the world map when you zoom out far enough, and you'll be able to see that one for one comparison from, okay, I have the world map at that AK, and then I bring up this
Yep.
Mhm.
little
And
part.
oh, do we lose? Oh, there's Michael. I think we lost.
Yeah.
By the way, right there where you are, Tenkar, you see that Coliseum-like building?
yep.
Do you see why it has that grate over the top? Because that's actually the grate that covers rocks from falling in it from the mountaintops whenever they have earthquakes.
Oh, all right, that makes sense.
Yeah. So,
That's
I
interesting
I'm a
detail.
geek. I had to point that out, man. So yeah. So we're really excited what we're doing and making it price sensitive for the market, and we're giving out stuff. And one thing, and I want to know what you think of this, but the other thing you get for all the game masters out there that buy this, we actually have created a Zendria's player guide, an actual player's guide that ties stuff in for the players. And you'll get that if you pledge, you'll get that as a free PDF. But here's what we're doing. Now ask me who would do this, because we want people to be able to pick this up and use it however they want. We give anybody who purchases and gets the player's guide a master Word copy of the player's guide, so they can go in and edit the player's guide themselves, add anything they want into it, and then put it together and give it to their players as the player guide, now modified by the GM for his own purposes.
See, I love stuff like that. That's why when Matt Finch had Swords of Wizardry core
And on the
RTF,
consortium side,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So here's some. Oh, go ahead, Tenkar. Here's some of the great artwork you can see here. Go ahead. That's the pre-launch page.
Yeah, it looks.
There's the two books. Yep. It just tells a little bit of. This is a pre-launch page we've been testing to see how it rates. Our Kickstarter page has another unique kind of look at it, but obviously it's not launched yet. But
Okay.
but it's nice because this kind of gives you a look at what you get in here. Like Michael said, coalitions, cults, factions, guilds. I mean, it's just, yeah. I mean,
and feel
So,
free to ask any questions as you go. The
Yeah.
theming on this page is actually based on one of the organizations, which is the Astrologers Guild, and it's a as hopefully as the name suggests, a group of soothsayers, fortune tellers, diviners, oracles, and what have you that work together in a singular organization to guide a nation state in its development and safety. And as we go down through this, you'll see much of the artwork that's going to be in the book and characters that are featured, as well as some of the foundational ideas that we implemented for the writing of this toolkit.
That's good. 'Cause, if you want a successful sandbox campaign, you need factions. You need something driving the world
Absolutely.
yes.
beyond just the players, and that's really sweet.
And you need those power structures, and you need those interactions and relationships between them. And by the way, can you, when you get to this book flip,
Yeah.
can you stop on that image for a second and see this? By the way, this
That's
actually
actually
is
the book.
We are flipping through just about the entire book, so you can see, as Agile mentioned
Oh, wow.
earlier, we've already got the work is done. We're
Wow.
not going to be waiting once this Kickstarter launches, and once we
Well,
get it
I tell you
funded,
what,
people won't be
that's
waiting. We're going
really-
to go right into it.
That's very important for you guys because this is your first Kickstarter, right?
Yes.
First
Yep.
at
It's
bat.
very important that you have a very good impression. And one of the ways to get a good impression is to have the whole thing done. Because a lot of people are leery about backing Kickstarters, number one. They're leery about backing Kickstarters that aren't
Fair.
written yet. They're leery about backing Kickstarters for people who haven't done Kickstarters before. So you guys have a whole lot of bullet points against you, but having it done, that's thumbs up, man. That's
Well-
okay, it's already finished.
Yeah, and the other thing, Mike, to that point is, I like to think that, and I'll just say this, I've backed over 411 Kickstarters and about 50, 60 backer kits, over the years. And I feel like we've learned a lot just from helping and supporting the people in the hobby that I know and love and have been part of. But so now coming out and doing it ourselves, we wanted to make sure we were a credit to our hobby and not just, a flash in the pan trying to make some money, because we're not pricing this to make money. We're pricing this to help spur on the hobby and create a door for other creators.
That's really I love this art because it makes me feel like I'm looking at like a classic Conan comic from the.
You're gonna love the
yes.
artwork then.
But really,
A
it
lot of
has
swords and sorcery feel.
yeah, it has that feel, the coloring. That's
Oh yeah. Oh,
really-
and this is a cool, unique monster in one of the adventures. Eli, she made that. She's one of the upcoming artists that's helped. She did that little book thing you saw, but she created this. She created these 3 monsters. This is one of them. When you look at it, there's a lot of detail behind that
It's a
monster.
lot of detail.
Oh,
in this
yeah.
monster.
But it's a very scary monster because those things actually spread out and create a blockade of spikes. So yes.
So each adventure will detail not only an NPC that is pertinent to one of the consortiums, but it's also going to detail something about the landmass, the locations presented in the Zendria book, and then it's going to tie that into some classical favorite monster archetypes as well as some new custom ones, along with unique artwork for every character. And one of the things that I think we're most proud of in this regard is that everything has the ability to follow on. It's very easy to pick up, whether it's the adventure, the consortium's book, or the Zendria book, or all 3, and create not only a really fun adventure for 1 or more sessions, but then also lead on to new things because they're so well tied into the world. And we've already given that thought to like the power struggles and power vacuums and the politics and so forth.
Your dark elves are not misunderstood, right? They are actually.
No, these are okay. These are literally Agile Monks, very much drow type dark elves.
These
Okay.
are Terrare Salvatore
Yes.
Dark Elves.
And you might as well know a guy that I've been doing artwork with for probably 6 years now, and building. He and I worked these out. So yes, these are and we're gonna have some more stuff done with some other looks on them too. But yes, I believe in what are real dark elves. Oh, wait till you see this. This is actually a
Wow,
picture
this one's fun.
in both books, but it's the 2 power sides fighting together. I think it's just phenomenal looking artwork. You'll get a full page of this in the book too. So
Yeah, I'm looking at this, and again, I'm getting like a feeling of like a, I don't know, something written by Roy Thomas, as like when he was like doing the Conan stuff, that just has that awesome feel. It's just
I wanted to inspire people. I mean, we want the art to actually inspire. See, look, here's an example. See, there's Cathedral, the mountain. See, that was an example of it. So there's a view of it, and then, but you got the detailed map that showed all of it, right?
Right.
Then this was another. Oh, by the way, that's the big thing that literally goes up by level, and it's all got an inside big bay. And if you actually enlarge that map, you can see all the ships and everything inside of that.
oh wow.
Well, it's something we want to point out with these maps is obviously
But you won't be able to
these
do it
are
with
just
that.
in that little stripe in Kickstarter. You can't, in that Kickstarter alone, you cannot see the level of detail that is there and the level of time and care. And that's why we forwarded some of those maps to you to show off.
They were
So
amazing.
Right. So you can see like, oh my gosh, no, this is going to be that much more. This is not a flash in the pan. It's going to be good stuff, I promise.
So then as we get, so there's the overall world map, kind of said that concept back in, my day. So,
so now do you see the center of the map there and where Cathedral is?
The map, that's Cathedral right there.
Okay.
Yeah, see that? Yeah, that's the massive area that's known as the Cathedral Range. Yep. So now check this out. You see what this is? You're going to love this artwork. This is the way we set this up, because we're going to be creating other worlds. We have one world that's even bigger than this one, but it's got a whole different kind of style. But we created inside of the world of Zendria are these portals, and these portals allow you to move between different planes and different worlds. So that way, if you're running your games and you want to move people in, you've got a way to bring people in and out of this world into other planes or in other worlds.
Nice.
Okay. So that's another thing for high adventure. And then let's see what's coming up here. Yep. So
Nice.
So let's see. Are we?
And now we'll get to Agile's favorite part of the show.
Oh yeah, I got to wait till it gets up on the screen though, because right now people. Yeah. So stop right there, Eric. Yes, right there on the Zendria book. I want to talk about this. So I'm waiting for it to come up on YouTube so people can see it. But the Zendria book, you're going to notice there. So come out. Yeah. You'll notice that long sword, that young squire, that young knight to be, he's got his sword, and that sword is dividing the world. He's looking at the evil, bad side of the world, hoping to conquer evil, while the guy from the evil part of the world is crossing over into the nice, the positive. See, and so what it does, that sword is the divider between good and evil, because the way this world is built, you can play evil characters or good, because guess what? Both evil and good are always doing things, always operating. There's deities for that. There's factions for that. There's everything you can imagine. So it's a constant world in conflict. So it's not just another world where the good guys go chase the bad guys. No, you can play this either way. You can go destroy the world, or you can go try to save the world.
I do like that cover. I didn't initially notice that, and then I went looking at it closer and went, "Holy crap, you're right."
I'm very proud of this, because this is a concept I didn't, and this is such a credit to Rick Hershey. Rick and I were on a call. We were working through this. I said, Rick, I've got this idea. And I'll tell you, if that man didn't make it happen, he is just so talented.
Wow.
He's just such a really great guy and a great friend. Love him to death. So anyway, so that's just kind of some of the pre-launch. What are some of the things we might have missed? And then let's go to questions too. So,
you guys covered everything I wanted to ask. Eric might have some stuff there. I mean, you hit all the main points with me.
Listen, folks who have followed me and the channel, if you remember when Frog was publishing The Lost Lands, I was a huge advocate for making that setting an open setting for others to play in that little sandbox, and it wound up happening. And to see that you are writing stuff for others to play in your sandbox excites me, because I think we're part of a great community of a lot of great creators, and maybe their strong point isn't creating settings, but it's creating adventures within that setting.
Right.
You're just
Sure.
you are giving people a great way to expand upon it.
Well, and that's the thing is, I want them to be able to write either inside this or in their own, and the toolkit is supposed to work for both.
And so the way it works is you can either, for example, we tried to make it so, let's say they had a world. Well, then they could take the factions and information there and the maps, even the cities, and drop them in their world and call them out. Or they can do it in this world. Or if they've got stuff they've created, they could drop it in this world. We wanted it to be free like that. And that's why with the adventures, by doing the individual playbooks and stats book, having the adventures work with different systems, you totally free the GM or DM or referee, whatever you want to call them, to do whatever they want with the consortiums and world books freely, because they're not locked into anything.
Right.
I mean, so hey, Eric, is there any way? One last thing I want to get.
Yeah.
Can you call up the PDF of the
read ahead.
It's what it is. It's
Consortium sample read ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Michael. Consortium sample read ahead, because it might be nice to have Michael talk about a few of the pages in there.
There will be over time, your day.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, oh, okay, yes. So Erudite, yes. We've got small stuff for now, but I can tell you what you will get is you will get imagery for all of races, species like that. You'll get imagery for the gods and deities, but then we're going to be ultimately doing a bestiary. But we you can only do so much at a time. And one of the things we wanted to figure out is we wanted to see how successful these books were and based on the audience feedback, let them kind of say, hey, we'd like to drive you in this direction, and then take it from there. Because just so you know, we already have city books planned. We're already writing on some of them. I mean, we've already got next generation stuff ready, but we do want, I want community feedback. I want feedback from the hobby and the community telling us what they want to see. So yeah, so if you can blow that up some, Eric, Michael can talk you through. But by the way,
works better on my other screen.
we have been so fortunate. We have had many creatives and many publishers compliment us for the layout and design work on this book. Because, by the way, it's written in large font, so you don't have to worry about reading it.
Oh,
You can actually...
God bless you, gentlemen.
Right.
That was a mandate I put on it.
That was an early mandate.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you. This read ahead includes snippets from a few different sections of the book, beginning with the very beginning at the introduction, where we introduce what a consortium is and what the different types of consortiums that we've identified are. We explain how this toolkit will help you. We explain how we're going to go through a development process, how we're going to describe the different consortiums, as well as then in the later chapters, the different example ones that are fully fleshed out, but with just enough gap that someone could feasibly and easily pick it up and say, oh, I want to make this and mold this into my world, my campaign setting, or what have you, or make it work for this adventure plan I have.
But wait till you see something really cool here. You're going to love it. I get excited. Oh, by the way, am I allowed to be a proud dad? Because
of course,
there's something. Let me share something. So here's what you guys. So we're all technology people too over our side. So here's what's interesting. That what people don't realize is that not only did this world and this book in particular, but we actually. Michael, and even through my bad accident where I died and got brought back to life twice, Michael came out to help take care of me, look at me, but he was working on this too. He, the amount of data and research we collected, the database and the work we collected to get all the information, instead of just generic charts, but to actually have, so that when we made stuff, we had years and years of research into the different terminology, names, history, and everything. We literally have all this built into a dynamic system that we use then to make sure it got built out. My son, who's been going back to school because he was a medically discharged veteran, he created all that stuff. We helped him and supported him, Dave and I, but he did it, and it really shows, because what ended up coming out in the book is amazing, and I am so proud of him. I just got to say,
Thank you.
Anybody does a project like this and actually finishes the project, that's a gold star right there. There's so many people that have projects that never even do or finish, and the fact this is actually finished and ready to roll is amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. So I wanted to bring up a little bit here. So this is part of the development chapter. This is just a small snippet where I try to help describe, hey, an important part of a consortium is its leadership. Is that one person? Is that multiple people? What are the different aspects of that leadership and how they influence the organization? Is the leader the original founder? If the organization is old enough, that may not be feasible. Or maybe it is if it's a supernatural founder or some very long-lived species. But odds are you probably have a different leadership than the original founder. How have they influenced or molded the organization over the years? And yes, we do have the long charts in the book, but they're not just meant to be, oh, hey, roll a die and grab that and go. It's supposed to help you have a definition and a starting point to say, okay, I've got these things. Now, how am I going to embrace them with all of the other aspects, those 4 pillars of a consortium? And
now stop here, Eric. This is a great place to stop once it gets on YouTube, because this is something you're going to find, I think, really cool here. Wait till Michael explains it, because you can't see it as well unless you blow it up. But there's every consortium has these unique patterns that are measured against.
So in here, this is the guilds chapter. We're going to, as part of this read ahead, we're going to show off one of the guilds. We're going to show off the one on the left, the Astrologers Guild. But you can see these two different pie diagrams, pie charts here. They are a form of graph called a radial graph, giving just a really quick overview of the kind of power and influence and capabilities that organization has. So that's at a glance. Oh, what kind of a faction is this really? Okay, well, they're a little bit more about political games than they are about sending armies to war, what have you. You can tell that just immediately from that look. And as Agile mentioned earlier, it was a great time working with Rick Hershey on this, getting these graphics to sit in well, especially with the gold and the turquoise coloring. We thought it looked really, really good.
That looks really nice.
And so each of these organizations, in this case these two guilds, is supported by these two information points. But now I'd like you to note, as we zoom out a little bit here and then go on to the next page, I want you to look at the page number. This is a little bit of point of pride for me. So we're page 119, right? We're now only going to cover one of the organizations, the consortium that's described in this book.
And why is that? Because how many times have we seen on Drive-Thru RPG, or GM's Guild, these people say, "Oh yeah, buy my 100 faction thing," and all it is it's a page with a name, one line, and an NPC name on it,
Right.
and nothing else. And they sell that as 100. No, this is fully fleshed out, alive, breathing, detailed. I mean, the stories in this alone, the adventures in it alone, not to mention the world
Right.
book. Every city and town in the world book
Ties it
has
together
literally
in a
plot
mesh.
arcs and adventure hooks to use with the books and with the GM so they can start right away.
Yep.
Yeah.
If nothing else, let's say you're just looking at this, because I'm looking at this, and I have my own campaign. I run my own campaign world, but I see so many hooks I can pull out of here.
Yeah.
Tons.
Exactly.
Good.
That's
Thank
what-
you.
yes.
I don't want to
That's
create
best.
guilds. I don't want to create my own guilds. I don't have time for that crap. I'm just going to use your guilds.
Example, like right on that goals section, right there. Thank you. So if you see it as a bullet point is a solid jumping off point to describe an adventure. You can
Yep.
look at these and go, how would a guild, in this case, reach out or make use of an adventuring party to aid them in one of these things? And
Just so you know,
by
it's
the way,
not. Just
that
so you
is
know, it's not
explained.
quite up. Just so you know, Michael, it's not on the YouTube screen yet. It's still catching up. So they're almost So as soon as it gets to goals, people will be able to see what you're talking about. I noticed we're seeing a little bit of delay there.
Yeah, but they're getting us delayed anyway.
Yeah.
So it all works
But
out.
yeah,
It'll be good.
but keep going though, because there's even more to show.
Yeah.
But look at that artwork.
Oh yeah,
Look at the artwork.
it's
Right.
so amazing. What?
Yeah.
Ooh.
We had a great time working with a wide variety of our in-house capabilities, as well as up and coming freelancers who wanted to showcase some really cool skills. And we thought some of these pieces, like this one, that tarot card set that forms part of the iconography of this guild, we thought it just really came out and came to life.
Matter of fact,
So as we're scrolling through this,
yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, you go.
As we keep going through this, I want you to understand that all of this came out of the writing process that's described in the development chapter. So everything in there carefully explains, like, okay, for this section, for this pillar, for this aspect of your organization, what are the important things to consider? How can we come up with this? And so that's even where I came up with the different names, the ranks, the benefits of being part of these guilds, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So we went to our own trough, ate from it, and to show, hey, this is going to be good. You're going to enjoy this.
Yeah, we use our own stuff to create. Go figure.
Yeah.
What's amazing is that we're looking at pages on one faction, one guild,
Yes.
and there are how many?
14.
Typically 20 to 30. Yeah,
Four-
there's 14 factions.
14 consortiums in the book, 2 for
Yeah,
each
consortiums,
of the
so-
categories.
Wow. Okay.
Very cool.
Something for everybody.
I hope so.
Yeah, so And the other thing we should comment is within the adventures, you get NPC art, you get the maps for the adventures. All that's included. So once again, everything you'll need for your VTT or for your use at the table, whatever, is all included there. And then, like I said, depending on the perks, if you're playing on the table and want miniatures, if we reach our stretch goals, we'll have STLs and all the like. But you actually you get to use all the cool stuff we've devised for you. But here's another thing. How many of you have seen Kickstarters that go in and say, okay, I'm going to put $1,000 as my thing so I can say I got funded in 3 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, but that's another mandate I said. I said, no, we're going to make this stuff. We're going to create it first. We're going to prove we've done it. And then we're going to ask for the minimum amount of money to get the books printed. So you know what? Our Kickstarter starting point is $32,000 because that's what it takes to get printing done for some of it, right?
That's honest. And I'll tell you the truth. Most of your backers are going to prefer the honesty of, hey, they actually did the math.
Yeah.
You can tell when somebody's done the math and somebody's like, we'll just wing it.
So yeah. But here's the one thing we did do for fun. The very first stretch goal that we give to you is also equal to meeting our funding minimum. So that way, as soon as we hit the funding minimum, we're already going to throw out some stuff in the stretch goals that we're offering because we wanted to do that. We wanted to make it fun. That if we meet XYZ, then we're already doing something.
Right. Very cool.
So, let's see. There were a couple of things that you want to show, Mike. Looks, I'm trying to be respectful of time here for.
No, this is great. Thank you. I just wanted to highlight a couple more things about that. So as you can see on that second to last page, there was that map. Every single consortium will also come with a map of a location that is particularly important to it, whether it's a headquarters, a major place of business, something that is highly pertinent to it, where you can say, okay, I really want to introduce this group to my players. I got to have something to work with, a place they can come visit. Bam, it's right here for you, right out the gate. And we do include, again, back to that tie-in between the books, the relationships that each organization has with each of the other known consortiums, and where they would influence each other on the world map.
And so to your point, Mike, here's the thing. You could take the consortiums and drop them in your world, and you could take all the adventures that go with it, just depending on what you wanted to do with the names, you use your cities or whatever. But then on the other hand, you could go in the world book, and with the world book, you could literally, inside of the world book is a whole bunch of plot arcs, adventure hooks, and actual samples of here's the kind of things you'd want to do related to this town. And you could turn around and bring those into your world too and tie them into the factions because they're all interconnected because we had to spend that much time trying to make them all go together.
Wow.
Exactly.
So we're going to reset for a second. So this is Wondrous and Dangerous Consortiums and Exandria World Lore Book. The Kickstarter does not go live till May, unfortunately. So you're going to get all excited and get all hot and bothered about this.
Page. It's linked below. Go there, follow. You will get notified.
You're going to get hot and bothered, but you're going to have to just cool it for about 2 months.
A little less.
So I mean, how come you're promoting this so early? It's just something you wanted to get out?
Okay. So let me go back to what I said. That's a really great question. What we, like anything, you try to plan this stuff because, people are busy, online YouTubers, people, they've got schedules. Well, originally we were releasing on April 7th, like I said. So we were going to try to be kind of a little less than a month out from it, trying to promote a lot more like this. Well, then what happened was, for those who don't know, Goodman Games, Cobalt Press, all these big groups on BackerKit, there's a thing called Mega Dungeon Month. Mega Dungeon Month was supposed to happen in May, hence Mega Dungeon Month. Okay, well they changed it, and since Goodman Games, the Dungeon Crawl Classics, there was like 20 people involved in it. we said, oh, wait. And they were literally going to launch on April 7th. So they moved the date to April 7th instead of May. So what we did is we met with Troller Games, who we're building stuff for, and they're a big supporter of us too, because we work with them. And they said, well, John, we want to make sure we can really support you guys. Look, rather than getting lost in all of this, why don't we agree? And so with the two businesses got together, since we're doing things for each other, and we said, okay, let's switch. So we switched to May 12th. Chuck Kumbow and Steve Chenault, we met and had a phone call and all that. We said, we'll take the 12th then, which was the original date. They'll take the 7th of April. So, but at the same time, we said, well, this is good because if we get this out there and people get excited, it'll help keep this moving. It'll help keep us motivated as we're trying to finish up things. But then I look at it as, well, then we'll have a chance once we get into the Kickstarter month to hopefully come back to some of you folks and say, hey, would you like to do some things related to the launch? I'm hoping, and then.
And you know what? Listen, tell you the truth, a Thursday night with Don himself. Don, you guys can talk about, some of the planning going behind the project on that end.
Because I can literally show you. We have a very detailed plan with Don on what it takes to print the books. I mean, it's on the list of anal retentive obsessive compulsive. But yeah, so. And I'm not exaggerating. So
Don is very organized.
Yes.
So,
what's your
Oh, and by the way, just for those who know something, let me tell you how serious we were. We were so serious about this that because paper costs, because we wanted paper in the U.S. and we didn't want to, we wanted everything in the U.S. We paid a hefty deposit to Don to buy our paper and get our paper locked down, so we wouldn't have to worry about paper then having to be called in from some overseas place. But we got actual U.S. paper too.
Awesome, nice.
Yeah, and Don will verify that if you ask him.
Oh, I'm sure. That's good. Cause I know Don prefers American sources when he can. You were going to say, Mike?
I was going to say what further projects are on the horizon after you get through this?
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take feedback, but the plan is, here's the plan. There's two different paths we're going to take. One is we're going to do our best to open things up to people for this world and what we're doing to create supplements and add-ons, but we're also going to be doing I like to think of it as, because I used to do a lot with Harn and I used to live next to the Harn people many years ago, but kind of like Harn, we're going to do continent books, so you get a detailed and a real deep dive, and we're going to do these city books. So for example, we already have one of them almost finished in the writing. This is Kyle, myself, and it's 5 cities within this world. And so it's at least 5. We're deciding whether it's going to be 5 to 10 because we don't want it to be expensive. But the nice thing is it's going to take those city maps and the cities, and it's going to take them to a whole nother level with deeper imagery, deeper concepts, deeper arcs, plots, everything to tie into the world. So people, if they want to take their city beyond just the basics, they can take that city to the whole next level for their gameplay. Okay, so that, and so that's one path. Then the other path is we have a world that's been about, I don't know, how long has Pangea Matter? We've been playing in it for years now.
Quite a few years.
4 or 5, at least 5. We've been building it for about 4 or 5 years now. Some of the same people, but it's also a world I play in with the veterans group and play. But it takes an interestingly different approach that I can't wait to show people because it's going to be reminiscent of some stuff that I think you're going to love. So so we're looking forward to that. But it's a much bigger world, and we wanted to start at a more reasonable level for our first thing out. Didn't want to try to go a bridge too far because we know what happened in that, right? Yeah. So that's a military reference for those not following.
I want to try to jump and answer Edgelord King there. Yes, both of the main books are system neutral. The adventures will come with a narrative book that is system neutral, and then we'll have accompanying playbooks that are built for each individual system, and every adventure will come with several playbooks, so that way you can just grab whichever system you want to use.
Yeah, so we start with 5 systems.
Don't have to worry
then
about mixing.
based on this, yeah, we start with 5 systems, Edgelord. So it'll be 5 games: Cast Crusades, Nimble, Shadow Dark, those kind D&D. Then what we're going to have is, if we make certain stretch goals, you'll get 5 more game systems that you'll get playbook and stat books for. So it'll be so literally you'll have. If you can't get a lot of playtime out of this, then I clearly failed in leading this team. So yeah.
I just want to remark that when you mentioned Harn, I actually when I saw the world map, I had a Harn. I mean, Harn was probably like my second or third setting, and it was the one where I was like, "Oh my god, this is like."
Eric, I have almost every Harn thing ever made. That's how. So
they have the best castles ever. Their castles are.
Oh yeah,
and
they
can be reused too.
And I knew, I know the family, that, and I knew Robin before he died. All that. As a matter of fact, I used to live, literally, just when we lived in Washington, we lived right next to Blaine, where they are, and known them a long time ago. But yes, the bottom line is, I'm glad, because they created Kingdom books and things like that. They did a lot of really cool stuff. Yep. So yes. So I'm so if so from a feedback standpoint, by the way, if Tenkar wants to, he can put a link to our little 2.5-minute video that if you want to see it on YouTube, it's a little 2.5-minute video to just get a little more feel for it, because it's got both it has both accessibility for people who read but can't hear, and for those who can't anyway, so it's got accessibility on there, and it's got a great voice track, everything on it. We're about to do a new version, but it's really good. You'll enjoy it. But I guess the thing I would ask is, based on everyone's here tonight, what's some feedback, Mike and Eric? You guys have been around a long time. What's some feedback you would give us? What do you think we're doing right? What do you think we need to think about? What do you think we might want to pay attention to? Because we got a couple of months before launch, so love to hear your thoughts.
I have thoughts, unless Eric wants to go first.
Mike, you can go first, because
I think it's an amazing product. I think you guys did a lot of work, and that looks great. My one concern would be that no one's heard of you guys yet, and this is a beginning Kickstarter, and it's a lot. And I think even at the good price point you have, which I think is an excellent price point, you're going to have people that are like, yeah, they've never really done a Kickstarter before. I'm not sure if I'm going to drop $65.
Right.
I mean, I'm just being honest here. That would be my
understandable
negatives. Is people would see that, go, well, I'll see what they put out first, then we'll.
I'm living with that every day, so I totally respect your point.
And the thing is, with having the correct amount to back, which is $30,000, somebody could pop in a week, and after a week, and if it's not funded, they're going to, oh, it hasn't funded, it probably won't fund, and you're gonna lose people. They're going to see that it's not funded. If it doesn't fund immediately, now it could fund the first day, I don't know. But if it doesn't, you're going to lose people. They're going to say, well, it's their first Kickstarter. It's a really high amount to fund. And I don't know if these guys are the guys that I want to throw money at. That's my one negative. And that's just entirely based on people not knowing who you guys are and not having a presence in the industry in terms of, average Joe knows.
Yeah. I mean, and that's
right.
Absolutely, you're spot on. And that's why a couple things, I'm going to be open here, because I believe in full transparency. We're going to admit we are relying on a few things. One of those things are, I have been known personally in the hobby for a long time, and have a lot of contacts and fortune and people that have seen me as a big supporter of the hobby. So there's people out there that say, whether they know me as my real name or they know me as Agile Monk, they know, hey, that guy is a fan. I've supported a lot of Kickstarters. So a lot of the Kickstarters, they want to say, hey, why don't we return the favor? I'm banking on that, admittedly. And we're banking on the fact that there are some people like Trollord who we've worked with and done work for. We're just not known, right? I mean, yeah. And there's even things I could point to, but we've jumped in and helped do quite a few things. But I'm hoping they'll say, hey, and especially when Trollord talks about us, look, these guys are legit, they're real, they've stepped up. I mean, think about it. Can you imagine? Can anyone imagine here how much all that artwork costs?
Oh, I can imagine. Believe me.
Okay. Can you imagine, does Matt, all the money that, I mean, so that's an investment that says we're not playing around. And so that's where I kind of have to say, well, they'll either see it or not see it. And so, so we're relying on the community to say, hey, give these guys a shot. But if they don't, the nice thing is we will be, selling them. We will be selling it and providing the items anyway, though. So we will, we will be offering stuff.
Well, I'm good. I did some quick math here. And here's, like I said, here's the issue I would have. You're going to have about 430 people back this to the fund.
That's correct.
And
Yep,
so
I think-
that's a big ask for a lot of people.
Well, it is, but it isn't. And I'm going to say that because if you can leverage Troller Games to get you a mention or two in their newsletter,
that will help immensely. Yes.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Troller Games is planning on promoting us heavily to 236,000 people.
Oh, because they're mailing list plus. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Because let's just say that the nice thing about those people, not only are they great people, but when you help them, they help you, and they help the people who are good to them, and vice versa. Yeah. So the bottom line is Steve Chenault, anyone who knows Chuck Cumbow knows he's one of the sweetest guys in the hobby, and then but Davis Chenault and Steve Chenault, the whole team over there, he runs it like a family. We run it like a family. They're a veteran-owned business. We're a veteran-owned business. So, yeah, 429. Actually, you're right. 430. I mean, you guys were right on. But yes, so but the difference is, Mike, I'd rather be honest about it and put it out there than play the games, because at least at the end of the day, I'll always have my reputation in this industry.
Well,
and Bad Mike, an interesting thing, both Agile and I do have experience with publishing, writing books, and supporting many other aspects that do relate to the hobby, but haven't necessarily been in the hobby. But also, like, for example, our support to Troller Games with their spell cards. We really want to come out with this product as we need to swing this out of the park right away. And that's why we wanted to show off some of these key features with you all today here, so that people can see, oh, it's serious. It exists. Again, that page flipping inside of the pre-launch page, you can see the book. It's right there for you. You're right. We do need to become more well known, because we've worked in the background to support a lot of other people. It's time for our name to get out there too, so people can know, oh, it's those the guys that were doing it.
I'm just saying that's my only.
Oh no, you're right.
You're right.
I'm looking at a guy right now who I won't mention the name of, because I want to compare him to you. I mean, you both do different things. His last Kickstarter had 547 backers, made $37,000, but he has done 30 projects. So I'm just saying that's a big ask for a first product. I think for 30 grand. I think that's a big ask.
But that's why we were really. But that's why we didn't go with the typical market price point too, because your point's very valid. I mean, Mike, you've been in the convention scene forever. You've been around the block. I mean, just like Jim Kitchen, you've been. I know you. Yeah. I mean, just like Jim. If Jim saw my face, he would remember me, because Jim and I actually have met before, and I, because I've been in the industry when he was in Games Workshop. Yeah, some of those past companies. We'll just leave it at that. But just one of the first things I ever did in this hobby was help create and design. You're going to laugh at this, but way back when I was young, and I did projects to help create character sheets for TSR. I mean, but the truth
for me, more recently, for Rollmaster Unified, I did some support that helped them build their Roll20 character sheets and whatnot.
But here's the thing: love the hobby. We're gonna do it. Our price points are designed to be affordable, and with all the stuff we're giving, our goal is to say, okay, when it comes to Fantasy Workshops, two things: A, they give way more value than they charge for, and two, they're trying to help the hobby grow and help other people get in the hobby and grow and build too. With our contacts, because that's one thing I can say. I am very blessed, Mike, that some of the friends I've had in this hobby for so many years have really stepped up and joined us and partnered with us. And here's what I can tell you. If you asked anybody who worked on our project, what was it like to work with FCW? I feel like they would say, "Oh my gosh, those guys are great. They pay on time or early. They take care of us. They treat us like family, and they care about what they're doing." And that's always what we're going to stand for.
All right, you got a couple of questions coming in. Erudite DM wants to know if you're going on any con tour, North Texas, CNY.
So we've thought about that. Just on full disclosure, I am currently on medical restrictions due to injuries, so I'm just going to leave it at that.
Okay.
So I can't do certain travel types right now in my job, but they worked with me. But Michael and I've talked about that because, he's gone to Gen Con and stuff just like I have. But we might be considering, okay, what places would we want to go to, and maybe partnering with some of our friends too. But once we get past this Kickstarter and we see how well it did, at some point we definitely want to hit certain cons, because I can tell you there are definitely cons in this world that I love and favor, from North Texas to CNY to Gary Con, things like that. Between you guys, I'm too old to go to Gen Con anymore. It's just too insane for me. Now, so what I do is I send my son there and he picks up what I want for me.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah. Matter of fact, he got Tracy Hickman to sign one of my books for me and Margaret while he was.
That was pretty awesome to get to meet them. I had never met them before. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, because I was like, so it was nice, but yeah. So, but so Tenkar, what's your thoughts?
Personally, my suggestion to you two right now is, kind of do what you're doing right now. Is talk to some of the YouTube channels that are OSR or OSR adjacent that do live streams, and get yourselves out there, get your project out there. Because listen, Rick Hershey is an artist to die for. His work, I actually had him do logos for a project that never went anywhere. But in any case, but he's great with not just the feedback and all that stuff, but anybody I know that has done work with Rick or had to work for them, you can't speak highly enough of Rick. So
you can't. And I'm very fortunate that, let me put it this way, because he is worth every penny, but he has been a little more family friendly with his rates with us because you have to understand, we're talking tons of full page images. Matter of fact, in the consortium book, you'll see a full page for every chapter to help identify the consortium. Then you'll see its intro. In the world book, you'll see full pages for every chapter in there, along with all the other specialty stuff. So bottom line is, the artwork is it's really great, and and he is we're very thrilled. And then the other people we've used for a long time are great. But yes, I was, how do I say this? Let's just say I had to do a budget and set aside a lot of money to get between his artwork compared to the other artists, and then those maps and the guy and my friend that I work with on those maps, all of that. Just so you know, folks, imagine this. Those maps take 2 to more weeks each map to create. And that's working on them every day.
Oh,
okay?
I'm sure.
So imagine the months that it took to build those maps.
You have a project that is as Mike will tell you. One of the biggest things about Kickstarter is I'll work on it once I get paid by the Kickstarter, which a lot of people have done in the past.
Yeah.
You guys have done all the work and paid for the art up front.
Yeah.
That's huge. But you're gonna get the word out.
Yep.
Yes.
All right?
Amen to that.
So there are other channels that do live streams, big or small, because the algorithm will start remembering, and that it can only help you. And like I said, when you launch, come back to me. Don and I will.
Wonderful.
We'll make it work. A Thursday or a Friday, whatever works out best. But yeah.
So Dan Tesh is on this right now. I want to say something about Dan. because he's super guy, super nice. But he'd seen some of the stuff. But he's funny because we have inside of our Kickstarter, we have this one special tier. It's only for 4 people. We're only giving it to 4 people. Meaning because literally what we do then is if you buy that tier, not only do you get everything, but we actually work and do custom artwork and build you your own consortium with you, develop it all, and do the whole project for you, and it's all yours directly. So we're doing 4 of those as part of the Kickstarter, using all of our tools and everything we put together over these years to help that person get their own personal consortium with artwork and everything for it.
Damn. All right. He did say that there was a tier that he was he would count as a number of backers essentially. So,
yeah. Yes, because he's been really, he was pushing me like, when exactly are you launching? What time are you launching? And I said, well, right now I think we're definitely the 12th, and we're either 10 a.m. Mountain Time or 10 a.m. Eastern Time. We haven't made that decision yet on the time, but yes. So
I mean, listen, like Zane and Bunny for their they actually launched for their recent Kickstarter. They did a series of live streams on the launch day. They did like a launch party.
Yes, and by the way, I love Zane and Bunny both. And she calls me. I don't know. Her nickname for me is Agile Monkey. So whenever we're on things together, she says, "Oh, there's Agile Monkey." So yeah. So but yeah, we that's something we want to try to do too. So, but we want to figure out who should we do it with, and how should we do it. So yeah.
Just throwing it out there because I think it was pretty successful for them.
Oh, it's been great for them. They're doing really well. And I mean, I know I backed them and supported them. They're 2 really nice human beings, honestly, folks. I mean, I can't seriously. If you check their stuff out, and if you like Shadow Dark, they've done a good job, and they've got a lot to build still and do it. But they are super sweet people, and and Zane is Zane's as solid as they come as far as a good creative.
Oh yeah, and apparently Zane is interested on going on Joe the Lawyer's live stream. So that's scary. I hope he has a bladder that's size.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, he better pull out his swear word jar, and he better have a huge.
Yeah. It's like a bingo card.
That's right. Yeah. So.
But no, this is listen. There are. Not saying that I'm jaded, but there are a few Kickstarters that I can look at and go, yes. And this is one, largely because a lot of the stuff that I've been doing on the channel, fits right into this.
Why do you think I keep telling you how much I've been loving those videos?
I didn't realize, but now
those videos could have been marketing for this product.
feel free. But no, seriously, it looks really good. And I'm like, wow, I like Mike. I'm like, I don't know if I'd use the setting as is, but man, there's just so much stuff I could rip and play with, especially since I'm going to be kicking off my open.
Well, you know what they say, everybody needs a world of their own to play in, and we want to help provide that. And honestly, I have tremendous respect for you, Eric, and Bad Mike, and Jim Kitchen, the whole group, but because you've all been around the block, so to me. I just appreciate it's humbling to be here, and I cannot tell you how thankful we are that you've given us this time, because you guys do a lot of stuff in this hobby. So to give us this much time is a blessing, and we could not be more thankful for this. I mean, seriously.
Well, when Mike and I started talking about doing this live stream years ago, we didn't just want it to be Mike and I telling the stories that we told at like conventions. Working the program booth, we wanted to use it to get eyes on creatives, and that was a huge part of the driving force. And I think we've done a pretty good job at that, Mike.
No, we've done all right.
Oh
well, come on, come on, Mike. You've done well. You've done excellent.
All right. So. Yeah, we did all right.
That's all right. That's all right.
But seriously, I mean, I mean it. I really. Eric, thank you. I mean, it just, I mean, this is the stuff I love, and I'm hoping it really inspires some people because honestly, I was talking to Steve Chenault about this too, about where the market's heading. And I'm telling you, this OSR adjacent, it's picking up such great steam. And I think we're going to see good stuff come back to the world of gaming again.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And I'm excited.
And I think that I think going forward, it's going to be less about systems and more about settings and tools to
Exactly. That's why we decided to not produce a game that we've tried to build, because I said, nope, we're not. As much as I have my own thing, nope, I don't want to do it. I'd rather do this instead, because I don't want to be another TTRPG out there. I want to support the TTRPGs that are getting everything from teenagers, from the clubs we support, to veterans, to military, whatever, the games that they can get people to play. Because we need this hobby to thrive and grow, which means we got to support new generations of players along with the existing generations.
All right, let's
Exactly.
go. Definitely. Well, Mike, shall we pivot a little bit to current events? Do you have anything that's like burning a hole in your?
I think I got everything off my chest last week that I need to talk about. I don't have anything, any breaking.
No, that's the whole thing. I don't want to say that news has been boring, but
you have some weeks when a lot of stuff happens, and then a couple weeks go by when not. I mean, last week was great because we had the Neopets thing, which we had fun with for quite a while. My goodness, that was so hilarious. I like it when we can tickle Jim, and Jim just gets so tickled about something that just goes on, and that absolutely got Jim. I mean, just so he was absolutely on target with that one. He couldn't let that one go. It was so amazing.
So do you guys know?
Yeah, we don't have anything that juicy as the.
Do you know? Obviously, you know Paige,
Yeah.
the convention, right?
Yep.
And you know Ron Meischker, right?
Yep.
So one thing you might like this, but he did a Kickstarter with Chet Mitten doing that adventure, and so we actually did the Castle Crusades conversion and created the whole look and feel and did all that for TLG for Ron's Kickstarter and his Page event. So
Oh, very good.
So whether you like it or not, you'll be seeing little bits of us here and there. You just won't know it's us.
And that's part of it, right? I mean,
That's part of the problem.
right?
Yep,
And
exactly.
I listen. In a lot of ways, this is a faceless industry, right? Because you recognize names often, but you don't get to see faces. Honestly, that was part of it. Like even me when I was the OSR blogger, well, there was no face to go along with that. I'd be at a convention, you'd be talking to somebody, and like 10 minutes later, they're like, "Oh, wait a second, I'm looking at your name there."
That's who you are. Yeah, right.
Yep. But
I have one story that happened.
Except Bad Mike. Everybody knows Bad Mike.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I'm a practical movie star at this point. But I did that to myself. I put myself out there. So,
right.
What can I say? I did all the dirty work myself. So, now I got one thing that we didn't talk about last week, Eric.
Okay.
Did you see the notice about Pathfinder's POD prizes?
Yes.
No, I didn't. Wait, hold on a second. I stand by it. I didn't bother reading what popped up on my Facebook feed.
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Their POD prices doubled in February, and yes. I mean doubled. Like if a book's $25, it's now $50. I mean, and they had a bunch of boilerplate about why they had to go up in price, yada yada yada, whatever. But yeah, the fans flipped out, man. They're like, wait a second, why are you charging so much for POD? And it was if you look at I'm trying to find some of the individual prices.
Yeah, and it's
pretty crazy.
What happened? So they talked about it, I think, like back in February, claiming they were going to do something. But what then happened is, I think on March 9th is when they jumped out and said, "Oh, by the way, 50% price hike."
50%. So here's some of the prices. The the hardcover went up from $13 to $19, but some of the prices, most of the prices are a 50% increase.
Yep,
And
that's right.
this is just through Lightning Source. This is not some kind of specialty crazy printing company. This is through Lightning Source, and their prices have all gone up 50% on POD.
And the sad thing is the quality, unless you get a premium book, is not there.
Yeah, Lightning Source is. I mean, Lightning Source is okay, but it's just okay.
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
okay.
they're
It's
just
not
they're
great.
just okay.
Yeah, by me, it's not great.
That's
so
why
I thought that was, and they tried to justify it any number of ways, but it came down to the fans were like freaked out. Like, man, this is what the hell? I mean, come on, man, it's the same POD it was a month ago, and who knows? I mean, they have to pay for their, I mean, they became a union shop a couple years ago. Maybe this is how they have to pay the increased salary. Because remember the story, Eric, where they were living in these poor Pathfinder employees were living in squalor.
Oh yeah, they were living in like communal housing.
Yeah, like in the minor camps, like back in the 1800s. They had to buy stuff at the company store. I mean, this is a true story for those who were around a couple years ago. But it turned out this all came out that their employees were severely underpaid for the area they lived in, which is the Seattle area, which is expensive, and they were having to live 2 to 3 in an apartment. And these apartments were apartments that Paizo owned, and said, "Well, I know you can't afford. We're paying you. You can't afford to live here. So what we're going to do is you need to live in these apartments we own, and we'll just charge you whatever. But you're going to have to share it with like 3 other people." I mean, it's a crazy story. You look it up if you find it. And this got outed.
But Mike, but here's the thing I'm trying to figure out. It's one thing if you come out and say, new products, new things, new stuff, increase prices, but they're trying to apply those prices to the already existing items.
That's what's crazy. And this article is pointing out to me, they just raised their prices last year. They're raising again after a year. They just raised their prices, and they're going to raise it again.
So yeah, it's kind of a little disappointing, but hey, I don't know what
they're saying. It's the rising costs of paper and other labor materials,
which went up 50%. Even that doesn't. Sorry, even if the paper went up 50% in price, it doesn't mean your POD goes up 50% in price. There's a little discrepancy in that.
They're not. Yeah. The point made by Agile is in I mean, the point I made too. It's just Lightning Source. It's not. These are not kick-ass pretty. I mean, Lightning Source does an adequate job, and I will say adequate because I've had good stuff from Lightning Source. I've had and they've been really good about returns. If I've ever had a return, I will say they're very good about returns. But you're not getting a premium product by any way, shape, or form. You're getting a premium product.
No, matter of fact, I won't get a if they don't offer a premium hardcover, I won't even buy them because I know what I'm going to get, and and it's not worth it.
Yeah. Well, the bleed through on their standard color is it's iffy.
I've got lucky on my last few projects that were Lightning Source, but I've had in the past some stuff I had to return. And I said, "Look, this is not adequate."
Yeah. So
anyway, I just thought that was funny because.
But now isn't that but Lightning Source is what drive-through uses?
Yes, that is. Yeah. Yes, that is drive-through. That is drive-through. Exactly. Yeah. OBS. Absolutely. That's what OBS uses. One bookshelf to print. It's Lightning.
Yeah. So. Okay. Well, interesting. Now that being said, I have Swords of Wizardry continue a light up on Amazon POD for the last 8-9 years, and the price has never changed because Amazon didn't change the cost to print. Right. So and I know Amazon is a big company, but Lightning Source is a pretty damn big company because this is what they do, and.
And speaking to that, as much as I love Swords and Wizardry and love Matt Finch and the whole thing, have you seen how much it costs to get an Ostrich POD?
I have seen, and I will not pay that.
I have Ostrich 1 and 2. I don't think I need 3 because I'm not paying $90.
Yeah,
I mean, and I want to support Matt and them, but I just can't go that far. It's just,
no.
not for a product I already own. Not for a product I already own. I don't own the latest version, true. But I've got what I have. If I wanted to play Ostrich, I could easily play Ostrich. It's not a big deal.
I mean, I couldn't back the Kickstarter initially because of the weird. They weren't doing it as a regular 8.5 by 11. They were doing it like wide format. I was very confused by it. I will admit that I'm set in my ways. But also, and just to address this, because Agile told you the font being used in these is made for our aging eyes. Matt and Susie often use a font size that is not as forgiving.
It might be a little small. Yeah, I have a problem. I had a problem with the last Swords History book, the one they did when they went independent. The size, I wouldn't use the book at the table, and we've talked about this before. I mean, I have to be able to use the book at the table and be able to read at the table without my readers. And if I need my readers, that's probably just not going to happen.
Yep.
Or if I need my readers or something more powerful than my readers, it's probably not going to happen. Yeah.
Hey,
we're all getting old here.
The aging eyes, good sir. Some of us, don't have two to work with all together, so we gotta make the font good for that too.
No, and that's good. And listen, I appreciate that. When I make, when I'm putting documents together for my own use for gaming, I'm like, all right, I want to default to a 14 font. I mean, I can get away with a 12, but I want if it's up to me, if I can fit it on the page. 14
is really good.
Really good sweet spot.
Yep, absolutely. Exactly.
But yeah, all this mention of price points and everything else.
I collect pulp paperbacks from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and I have boxes of them. They're all in poly bags. They're all taken care of. But the last couple of years, I need to start reading a lot of this stuff. I can't read them. They're too. The type is those pulp paperbacks is tiny, and I'm like, great. I'm going to need a magnifying glass to read it and stuff. And then I found out a lot of them I can get from Amazon. I can get from I can get on Kindle. A lot of them on Kindle, which I'm probably going to end up having to buy them on Kindle now and just sell the paperbacks themselves. Paperbacks look awesome because it's got that awesome pulp art, and I love them. But I just don't think I can read them. Probably better off anyway because most of them will fall apart if you read them, and they'll just start falling apart. So, but yeah, it's something I have to think about now. Getting the age I am, getting as old as we are.
We're not old. Maybe.
But again, back to your points though, Bad Mike. We're really hoping that our price point really sets us apart. Like you're just pointed out with Paizo with these PDF pricing changes. And I just went ahead. I was like, you know what? Let me go look at this. And I was like, well, what are they charging now for if an adventure has VTT support? Well, their Fantasy Grounds one adventure, Night of the Grey Death, which is a pretty sizable adventure, $23. Okay, well, our adventures are $5, and we'll have VTT support. All the external map or image files that can be used separately or repurposed for your own things, as well as the separated playbook and the narrative book.
And describe. And by the way, these aren't one session adventures either.
Oh, right. Yeah. So we do, for those who back within the first 72 hours, we are giving away one adventure that is meant to be a very quick and easy introductory 1, maybe 2 session adventure. But after that, the other 7, there will be one tied with one each of the different consortiums. These are much longer adventures. For example, one is called A Wall Too Far. That goes with one of the mercenary companies. That is weighing in close to 40 pages for the adventure itself, and then has another 8 pages or so, or 10 pages of the playbook for each system. So D&D, 5e, Pathfinder, Shadow Dark, Castle with Castles Crusades, you name it. Each of those will have its own separate playbook.
And by the way, one of the things, because we're all about world building, one of the things that we're doing at Troller Games is if you do the Kickstarter, we're actually giving away a free engineering towns book by Castle Crusades, because they built a book called Engineering Towns, which is designed to help you generically understand how to build a town in a city. And thanks to our partners at Troller Games, they're giving us this book to give away free to whoever pledges. So that's another thing you're getting on top of it. So you'll get a full version of that book, PDF of that book, which is another 60-page book on how to build a town.
And when you look at engineering towns and you compare it to what you're going to get out of the consortium's book, it will not take more than 2 blinks to figure out how to put those elements together and say, oh, you know what? Okay, I've really designed some key ideas that I really like for this town where we're going to start our campaign, but we need some power centers to fill it and some interesting people to meet. Okay, let's bring that in here. It's going to be so smooth of an experience and a learning opportunity for people. It's going to feel like drag and drop.
Well, that's cool. I mean, I wish you guys luck on this, because this looks like an amazing project, and I like the fact it's all done. That's great. That eliminates so many worries for anybody, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
Well, we should probably get out of your way, because we've taken a
We'll let you go after we see Mike's 5 musical picks. Do you have any, Mike?
Oh yeah, that's right. I
do, but you're gonna have to vamp for a second while I go get them. You're gonna have to vamp.
Oh, I get the vamp.
Oh, okay, can I get my musical picks?
Yes.
Okay, so my musical picks are basically Tower of Power. What is hip? Okay, which is goes way back to the days when you had the Doobie Brothers, Tower of Power, Chicago, and those bands, and they were playing massively great horn sections, and they had their famous song "What Is Hip." But the album is just a blast all around. With, if you like horns, you like trumpets, you like saxophones, trombones, and really good rhythms and beats, you cannot beat it. It's a combination of a fusion of jazz and funk, kind of rock, funk, and jazz mixed, and I absolutely
big band soul.
So, yeah. So that's one of my big music picks. Just to say that, and then for those, I don't know if you guys will like it, but Buddy Rich, for those who like jazz.
Love Buddy Rich.
Buddy Rich album, which is the one that has him on the drums on it. One of the best drummers ever that existed in this world. Along with Neil Peart and people like that were jazz drummers. Highly recommend that album too. Buddy Rich is Buddy Rich. So that's just a couple of favorites that I listen to quite a bit. So because I'm definitely got an eclectic taste. So
I got 4 new albums this week. I have a return of one of the greatest alternative albums of all time. The Replacements, Tim. Revolutionized.
What is that? What's that one?
Revolutionized the 80s. The 80s changed after this came out. All these bands nobody had ever heard of, these little small bands from places like Minnesota and Michigan and Indiana, all record companies started looking for these. Who's the new hot band? These small guys. These guys became real big.
What was that? The Replacements, you said?
Yeah, the Replacements. They became big. The lead singer and writer, how come I can't remember his name? He became huge, and he has a solo career now because the band eventually broke up. He still puts out a lot of stuff, but that one of the best, probably 10 best albums of the 80s. Then I've got some 80s, 90s stuff. So there was a band called Guadalcanal Diary. They were big in the early 80s. This is their second album. It's not very good. It's called Flip Flop. Their first album is very good. It's very reminiscent of REM, and it's kind of small town, like what do you call it? College rock. It's that college rock type sound. But I hadn't heard this in years. It's not going to stay on the player more than 1 week. This is a band that came out in the early 90s. They were kind of a throwback band. The name is Material Issue, and this is their third album called The Freak City Soundtrack. They had a real big hit with a song called Valerie Loves Me that came out in the early 90s, and their first album blew doors. I mean, it went nuts. And then their second album, people listened to it. Their third album, which is probably their best album, that was kind of towards the end of their career. At that point, people were like, yeah, we've already heard these guys, but they actually got better as they went along. They just weren't as commercial, which is the death knell of a lot of 90s '90s bands. But yeah, Freak City soundtrack, really good stuff. It's alternative rock. I mean, and it's rock. It's actually rock and alternative rock. 3-person band, really good. These are two finds in the dollar section, because every once in a while I go to half price books and cruise the dollar section, see what they got. This kind of surprised me. So this guy's named Pete Yorn. He had a big hit about 10 years ago with a couple of songs that hit top 40. They did really well. This is his second album, which I'd never heard. It's okay. It's more rock than his first album. His first album was very experimental, and he has a song called Life on a Chain, or Life, yeah, and it has a really unique, interesting sound to it. Look it up. I think it's called Life on a Chain. It's really by Pete Yorn. That was his big hit album. This is his second album. Once again, not as big a hit as his first album, because your first album always has all your best material, because that's the stuff you're saving up, right? And then your second album, they want you to come out with real quick, and it's always a bunch of stuff like, well, this didn't make the first album, so it's not quite as good. And that's how a lot of these second albums are. That's kind of how this sounds. And then this is I got. So a few weeks ago, I had the Romantics' first album on my playlist, and I found this in the $2 section. Romantics, What I Like About You and Other Hits. This is their greatest hits album. It is awesome. This has songs from all 4 of their albums. They had 4 albums. They were a big band in the 80s. I mean, they were kind of like a retro rock outfit, and they wore funny red outfits, and they just they're kind of like a 50s rock band, but they had an 80s sound. Everybody's heard What I Like About You. That was their giant hit. And then the other big, huge song was Talking in Your Sleep. Those are the two big, those are two that just blew,
Okay.
But really, every song on here good. They got this has 10 songs on it. There's not a bad song on here. It's, like I said, this is from all 4 of their albums. Some albums only have 1 song on it because they weren't as good as the other one. But I had a lot of fun listening to this. Because I think I have all 4 of their albums, but I think 3 of them are on vinyl, which means we're going to make it, since my vinyl player is broken, that's going to make it hard to listen to records for long.
Yeah.
So I don't know if their albums ever. I don't know if their last couple albums ever even made it to CD, which is that's something you find when you have these bands that aren't super famous. A lot of their albums didn't make it to CD, or if they made a CD, it came out one time and you can't find it, and now the album's like $100. There's a band called the Rave Ups. It was real big in the 80s. There's Molly Ringwald's favorite band, so they got real famous because of that. Their first album is it's like $200 now, because it was released on CD. Then the band broke up, and they never re-released it, and all these rights issues happened, and so I think that's kind of the Romantic. But yeah, if you're ever looking for some really good, if you liked What I Like About You and Talking in Your Sleep, but you got kind of tired of hearing them over and over again on radio, pick this up, Romantic's greatest hit, because you will hear 8 other songs you haven't heard before that are all really, really good. Those are my albums. Anybody got a movie? Anybody got a movie this week? Who doesn't have a movie?
I still have to watch the new Game of Thrones series with the one that's actually pretty good, supposedly.
Oh, the Dunk and Egg.
Dunk and Egg.
Yeah, those are. I read the graphic novels, which are very good. I'm glad they finally came out with those. It's got a different feel from Game of Thrones because it's not depressing and beaten down.
Oh,
and evil.
even better.
It's really it's very heroic. Dunk is. It happened. I think it's about 80 years before Game of Thrones, and so it's a lot of things that eventually lead into Game of Thrones. A lot of politics stuff. And the main hero is just he's a good dude, and so it's totally unlike other Game of Thrones story. But the graphic novel, you can tell George R. R. Martin had a lot of fun writing these. They're very, very good. So I think you'll enjoy it. I think you'll enjoy that. I haven't seen it yet, but I read the graphic novel. It was really good.
So now the bathroom is 95% done, and I think I only got left just like putting moldings up. That's my job. I think I'll be able to have a night where I can use the excuse of we can watch TV, because I'll have spent the day doing my recordings. I won't have to worry about being the assistant painter or whatever I was today. I'm not quite sure.
I did see a movie this week, and I can't remember what it was. So that must not be good. If
it must not be good.
Oh, I know what it was. It was the new Alan Rickson movie called War Machine, and it was not
Alan Rickman.
The guy that did the Reacher dude.
Yeah.
Reacher.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
it's
okay.
not.
Yeah.
if you know anything about military, you will cringe a lot during this movie because it's like,
Yeah,
oh, it's not how it is. No, it's not.
We might
No.
know a little about the military. Just maybe.
Yeah, it caused my son-in-law to cringe quite a bit because it was just like, and it's a fun movie, lots of explosions blowing up. It's actually rather a dark movie. A lot of the characters you come to like die, but it's just like so over the top. God, it's so over the top. It's Michael Bay on steroids.
Oh, geez.
It's just like, and the ending was so. I had to stare at it for 5 minutes without speaking. My wife's like, "You okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not," because it ends with. The guy survives this horrible experience with aliens, and he goes, "Okay, well, I'm going to go fight some more aliens," and he jumps up and runs off. And I'm like, he doesn't get debriefed. I mean, he just killed an alien war machine. They would say, no. We're going to spend like 2 weeks with you, debriefing you to find out how you did this because we're having problems killing these war machines. We want to know what you did. No, they just let him go. Like, all right, go ahead, go fight some more war machines, dude. I'm like, it is like a different universe that doesn't exist because that's not how combat works in the real world. You don't, you don't get this gigantic combat where your unit's pretty much wiped out, and they go, okay, we'll just, go ahead and go wipe out some more aliens, dude. It's like, no. We need you got to stay back here a little bit and talk. And not only that, he hasn't slept in like a week, and he's all shot up, and he's got alien.
Come on.
Right,
He's
but the
just
hero
so
always
bad.
recovers from every injury
He
overnight.
slaps a band-aid on it, and he's like ready to go. He's like Arnold Schwarzenegger in Commando or something. Just slap a couple band-aids on it.
Leave
So
character.
that was
Don't worry about it.
The ending was dumb, but if you just want to turn your brain off and watch some cool machine, like it's like a mech. It's basically when he fights as a mech. So it's kind of cool. So basically it's a SEALs versus mechs. So yeah. I'm sorry, not SEALs. Oh God, I got it wrong. It's Rangers. I don't.
Okay.
That's
it's
Rangers versus mechs, not
okay.
SEALs. Oh my God, I got that wrong.
Right.
Nope, it's Rangers. But yeah, it's got some issues. But if you just want to turn your brain off, go watch War Machine. Turn your brain off and watch explosions.
There we go. As we wrap up, I want to just say to Jim Kitchen, who's over at GaryCon, represent. Thank you.
Yeah,
we're not there, but if you are at GaryCon, tell him we said hello, and he better make mucho dollars for the auction.
That's right.
Just saying.
He will.
Yeah, and as usual, huge thank you to Bad Mike, my once a week work spouse, Agile Michael. The other Michael, I should say.
right.
Thank you so much for joining. I'm really looking forward to this project. If you watch my channel, folks, this is a project. I've linked it multiple times in the chat. I'm going to link it again. Somebody pointed out that I didn't have a link in the description. There's a link in the description now. If you watch my channel, there is so much of what I talk about that's going to be in this project. If you like what I talk about, you're going to like the project.
Thank you.
It's that simple. All right, folks. As usual.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, guys. It's great to finally get to talk to you.
Yes.
Great to meet you both.
So just having you kibitzing from the from the cheap seats out
From
there.
the peanut gallery.
Yeah, just throwing tomatoes at
folks.
At least fresh.
Yeah. Luncheon tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Friday at 8. Gamers Health 8 on Saturday. I think I'm off Sunday. I think I am. Other than that, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice, roll them well. We'll catch you later.